Namaste. Today, I want to talk a little bit about libraries. How many of you actually are regular visitors to a library? Of course, everybody knows what a library is, a place where you get lots of books, periodicals, and on various topics. There are specialized libraries on specific topics. You can get a computer science library or a arts library, and there are libraries which are usually open to a range of topics. In my early days of career at NCST, we had no internet and we had no World Wide Web. I mean, it's not only we, but India itself was new to internet, World Wide Web, email, mobile phones, and all that kind of technologies, which are very commonplace today. And of course, there was no Google, there was nothing too much to say about a search engine. So there was very little that you could do online to learn anything from. So our source of learning was always library and usually the books. So we usually visit, or at least I usually spend some time almost every day after lunch browsing through what is new in the library, what new books or what new periodicals have come, and look at what is interesting and all that. The last two decades or so, I find that this trend has more or less gone. Even I don't go to library that much. The reason is many, and I also don't see even youngsters, those who are in the prime learning space, also don't visit library that much. This is a cause of concern, primarily because I believe that if you really want to learn a subject, you must get access to good books and you should read those books almost end to end. And that's the way I have been learning a lot of subjects. But of late, because of things like Google being available, anything you need, you do ask Google. Google will give you a very snippet, one sentence, one word answer, and you are happy with it. You don't want to go beyond that, and this is actually restraining access to libraries. And also the fact that ebooks are available, you can go to the market and buy books. In those days, buying a book was very challenging because it was very costly compared to the salary that people used to have at that time. It was very difficult to afford, maybe more than a book or so in a year. So those challenges are no longer there today. So today, you have a lot of these accessible to you at fingertips or even easily in a market. But does that mean that people are far more knowledgeable and they are keeping themselves up to date? The answer is no. Most of us, the information is there when I need it, and therefore I don't need to study upfront. I don't need to prepare for it. This is a unfortunate trend that is there. So the knowledge becomes very shallow, and you don't even know what kind of knowledge is available, what is doable, and there is a lot of on the spot exploration that will actually happen there. So the other day I was giving a talk on a library conference that I called, and I was just thinking about what can we do in using technology and other things that is at our disposal to make the library little more vibrant, little more attractive, and which is what people want today, right? So reading a book doesn't sound as attractive as watching a video, for example. So if that is the case, we could try and see whether the library can become more responsive, more inviting to the current generation. So, for example, e-books are now very common. So, physical books need not be the only way libraries are organized with. And because they are e-books, the content is available. You can annotate them. There are mechanisms to extract that content and index them, create search mechanisms, and all that. Plus, any library, when you issue a book or when you return a book, this data is also available digitally. So potentially this could be used to get an idea about what kind of books you like to read and what books do you actually spend enough time to read, a 100-page book that you return in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it possibly indicates that you are actually spending time to read it. Of course, it could be that you've forgotten the book and you're returning it later. But let's say, statistically, if you can look at it that way. So with this kind of information, the library potentially can create a model of what you like and what topics you are fond of, and what kind of authors you like, and so on. So I was thinking that, if you think of something like augmented reality, virtual reality kind of systems, and when you walk into the library, the shelf actually calls you out and say, "Hi, Jain, do you come over? See, there is a very recent book by your favorite author XYZ, and it has also got a lot of good reviews. Why don't you take a look at it?" Right. So instead of being the library being a haunted place with all these books kind of looking scary along those shelves, if they could actually come kind of sense who is around and talk to them and tell them what is new there, what could be interesting there, it could possibly create a more positive environment in the library, won't it? So, and potentially the books can also talk to each other, and there was talks about books being actually sharing information. So, when if you have returned a book on let's say topic like generative AI, the shelf or the system there through whatever channel can actually tell you, you know, you were on a related topic. There is a very recent book on large language models, which is very related to this topic, and that also has got good reviews. A lot of your colleagues have actually issued it and reading it. So, if we can build an ecosystem relying on who else is taken the book, who is reading it, your interest, and the reading patterns and all that, you would possibly find an inviting atmosphere in the library. Is it? And these are not rocket science. All these technologies are available today. So why don't we actually try implementing this in some of the libraries? It would be fun, and I'm sure there will be more color and vibrancy in the libraries. And beyond the librarians and the cockroaches which usually occupy the library these days, we should find more of us going back to the library. Think about it, try it out. I think we may be able to bring some change in this system. Thank you. Till we meet again next one.